Repeat at this point. You're just going to go back and do it again, do it again, do it again until everything is good. That ring too low. And now our ring, or our feeler gauge, fits right in there now. So what we're going to do is go back over and we'll put these rings on the piston and put the ring on the piston, or the ring on the piston, and we'll put the connection rod on the piston. And then we might actually put one in. Might as well, because I'm not going to bore you guys with putting all of the pistons in. It's the same process over and over and over again. So I don't think I really need, for the instance of showing length, I'm not going to go through that and show you guys all 6, just because it doesn't make sense to film it all. I might actually, I might film it when I'm doing it, and I'll just put it in high speed on the next video just to show you guys. So first one you're going to put on is your oil ring. Actually, I didn't check that. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so we checked that one out. We're good on that, on the gap. So if you look at this, you can see where that ring comes together, and you want to make sure that when you're putting the oil ring back together, that you put this opening gap on the opposite side, 180 degrees from this side. Right, so then that way you don't have to worry about it opening on the gap. So you're just going to slide that on the piston, put it on, slide it together, and then like I said, you're going to put it 180 degrees from the other side. And sometimes these things, here we go, will fight you. So then your next one, and these are marked. You guys will be able to see that in the video. Oh yeah, right there. You can see it. Where it says top, you want to make sure you get that on the top. So that's going to be your second ring down. And then your keystone ring will be the next one up, which is your top one. And there again, it's marked top. You can see the 2 dots and then top. I don't know whether you guys will be able to see it in the video or not, but and then you want to, when you're putting the pistons in, I'll show you that on that anyways, you want to make sure that you roll the rings away from each other 180 degrees. And then I usually put the oil ring 90 degrees from the openings on it. So piston will be marked front. And on a 12 valve, it's pretty easy to tell because the bowl isn't centered in it. So make sure you get your front. And then rod, depending on the rods, 99% of 12 valves are going to be blind hole to camshaft. So you do blind hole to camshaft. So wrist pins, I always put a little bit of assembly lube in the wrist pin holes on the piston. And then there again on your bushing inside your rod. You can't have too much lube in 99% instances anyway. And then sometimes these pins can be a pain. I don't know right in. Sometimes they're a pain to get in, but like not rocket science by any stretch of the imagination. Pin will slide through. Make sure nothing's, there's no binding or anything in. And then some of these, this one's not like that, but some of these have a real heavy bevel on the edge. I always, if you have a bevel on the edge, I like to put the bevel towards the inside so that if the pin is hitting it, it can't come out. And there again, which I talked about this in the P-Pump 6.7 video. I always put, honestly, I don't know if it makes much difference for your clips. I always put the clip, my pliers just went cattywampus on me. I always put the clips in the same way. Heavy end down. And like I said, I don't know. You see them when they come in, you know, you're tearing them down. You want to make sure you get these clips in all the way too. So if you don't, it's a bad day. But I always put heavy end down on them, and then you never have to worry about, you know, they technically aren't, they shouldn't move or shouldn't fall out. But they do migrate because you see them all over the place, or if that's the way that the Cummins puts them together, they just put them together and it doesn't matter. Completely, I don't know, to be honest. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put one piston in. I have a helper here at the moment, and he can hold one end, so it's easier if you have a helper to hold one end. You don't have to, but it is easier. Make sure you get lube on her. This is that assembly lube that I was talking about. And then on your bolts, like I was talking before, make sure, usually you can just wipe a little bit of oil off your hands for the last time. Make sure that they're oiled, and I'll take you back over there and we'll put one of these pistons in. Something I want to do, sorry the light's shitty over here, I just don't have apparently enough lights where we're standing. So engine oil in the cylinder, I always put a liberal amount, and then wipe the cylinder down after, because you want to get, now this wasn't perfectly clean rag to start with, but so you take a perfectly clean rag, just to show you guys. You can actually still see the dirt that's coming out. So you want to just oil and wipe a couple times per cylinder. And get that dirt out of the crosshatch, basically, is what you're doing. Just make sure you get it lubed up good. And then all I do is just take a little more engine oil, wipe it around my finger a couple times, and I do put oil on the piston as well. We'll slide this thing in there. So when you're putting these things in here, this is the style of, I have a couple different styles, but I'll go to tried and true method. So when you're putting that in there, you want to oil the piston, the rings down, and if you have the engine sitting the right way, you can just let the rods sit there and it doesn't hurt anything. Start it in the hole, and then get your tool. If you have somebody on the opposite side, it actually doesn't hurt, because then they can get them to guide it. And then all you got to do is just squeeze the tool and tap it in. It's that easy. It's all on you now.
Come on. Yeah.
And you just go down until it hits where you want. And then you got to go to the opposite side. So you got to grab that drill anyway. And guiding it in isn't really rocket science by any stretch of the imagination. And all you're going to do on this is you take your cap, put your cap in, as long as everything's clean, obviously. And then I use a little impact gun for doing this. You really shouldn't do that. You should use a drill or something by hand. But for this instance, we'll use my fingers. Now we'll grab the torque wrench, torque that up quick. So your torque on these rods is 2244/74. If I remember right? Yeah. So basically just to make sure that it's set. And 44. Work towards your next one. 74. I don't overshoot it too far here. So then your final torque. Now I usually torque them in pairs because you'll have companions, like this one will be your other companion, right? So I do those 2 cylinders at the same time and then torque it. So that's all there is to installing pistons. Not rocket science by any stretch of the imagination, but for you guys that haven't done it, that's how you do it. So like I said, I'll probably do the time lapse for the rest of them. And I'll put that on the front of the next video just for the guys that want to watch it in time lapse. All right, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and you got any questions or comments, hit me down below. Thanks, guys.